Okay, all right, so here's the scoop. Is your knife your best friend or your worst enemy in your kitchen? First and foremost, this is the LBD in the kitchen category. Everybody needs a knife, everybody uses a knife, whether you cook a little, whether you cook a lot, whether it's just slicing that deli sandwich that you got, or using the kitchen shears to even partition and slice a pizza like I was doing at the beginning of the hour. You want this, because this, first and foremost, is a today's special. Now that means that pricing does expire at the stroke of midnight. These are just back in stock, but the real key is this is one of the oldest brands in the world. It's also one of the most respected and one of the most expensive knife brands in the world. It is an entire wardrobe or library of knives. And that's why I say whether you cook a little, whether you cook a lot, Dad's Day, Dad's Day, Dad's Day. Get this at home, he will love it. You know very well if Dad is tough on their knives, I'm tough on my knives or on my cookware, you know, just tell them it's on its way for Father's Day, because that's coming up this weekend. Let's talk about what you get, and then I'll show you what's left in colors. The chef's knife alone, if you were buying just a Zwilling Henckels lifetime warranty, triple riveted, love that end cap for both balance and beauty. There's that full tang that, of course, you see all of the most expensive knives in the world using their whole level of caliber. This is your final shot. It's your final presentation. You could arguably and would spend more for just the chef's knife, but they have upped the ante. Even my producer Steve said, now my producer has a Zwilling Henckels knife set, and he's like, yeah, I remember we used to sell that Santoku knife separately. Actually, the set that I have as well, Steve, I had to buy my Santoku separately. We used to sell the Santoku for $79.90 and change here at HSN. We're including that in the set with those beautiful precision pockets, if you will. So that creates little air pockets so that things don't stick to it. Buffalo mozzarella, caprese salad, you name it. All right, speaking of Dad for Father's Day, your utility knives that he will use for everything. Here's the serrated. There's that beautiful straight edge utility knife. Then Grandma's favorite knife, the Perry knife. This is what Grandma used to do all her little refrigerator pickles with. Remember though, Grandma's knife was not sharp like this. This is going to be sharpened better than a professional. And then the kitchen shears. And I'll do it real quickly, I promise. We used to sell, when John Florell and I debuted Zwilling Henckels here at HSN, we used to sell the knife blocks separately. And the knife blocks were, I'm trying to remember, they were either $89 or $99. They were, you know, pretty close, or this price of admission. This one happens to be self-sharpening. And not only does every space have its place, it is calibrated to precision sharpen to factory standards. Do you know this every time, because you're gonna put the knife away anyway, this actually sharpens it back to 95% of what the original factory sharpness was. Do you know, even if you sent your knife to a knife sharpener, a professional, they couldn't get it that sharp. I'm serious about that. I'll tidy this up, but you do have your choice in the red, black if you don't know which one to go for. And then Steve, you said fewer than 100 of the white. Okay, so we're in the dozens remaining on the white out of the couple thousand that we brought into stock. Last show, final opportunity. We're also doing something called apply and buy. So if you don't have an HSN card yet, you could take $40 off that first purchase. This is already a winner chicken dinner, but don't let it pass you by. Of course, that dynamic force in the kitchen, John Florell, back for the final show of our today's special. John, it's interesting. You and I know I mentioned this last hour. We have sold Zwilling Henckels knife blocks for $89. We have sold Santoku knives from Zwilling Henckels for $79. We've sold the chef's knife for upwards of $129. Oh, and by the way, they are telling me it is also last call on the steak knives. So if you're looking for the steak knives for Dad, red is in final quantity on that steak knife set. John, I'm gonna defer to you because there's so many things to talk about here. It's every knife you'd ever need. It's as sharp as factory standards. It's no wonder this has been so popular today.
Yeah, and you can read the reviews too. I mean, it's an amazing knife set, all German engineered, high quality, high carbon stainless steel, full tang, which means the steel goes all the way through the handle, and it turns into this little, this isn't a cap, this is actually part of the knife blade. The handles are attached with triple rivets. This is the most popular style handle in the world. You're getting this today. Look at the balance on this. It fits beautifully in your hand. And of course, if you're giving it as a gift, it's got that Zwilling J.A. Henckels brand on the block and on the knives. This company, the Zwilling J.A. Henckels Knife Company, is nothing new. Ask any chef in the world, they'll tell you Henckels knives are like the gold standard in kitchen cutlery. They're razor sharp, they're easy to use, they feel great in your hand, they've got quality, durability, the sharpness, and of course, that lifetime warranty. Now, I got to tell you, I mean, most of you won't be slicing your your pineapple in the air like that, but I like to show you the sharpness of the knives. And all you have to do is touch it, and it cuts it. But Shannon, all new knives are sharp. They should be, they're brand new. The problem with a knife is after you cut through the food, your knife usually hits the countertop, cutting board, plates, dishes. After you cut through your food, it drags across that cutting board, and that's what starts to dull your knives. Well, you don't have to worry about that now with our new knife block set. The knife block, it not only looks fantastic on your countertop in the kitchen, beautiful ash wood stained solid wood with this brushed stainless steel cap. Each one of the slots is labeled chef's knife, paring knife, utility knife, Santoku knife, serrated utility knife, and the shears all fit in the knife block. But every time you put the knife into the block and take it back out, it sharpens itself. You see, the problem with kitchen knives is they go dull after a while. And Shannon, if you've ever done this, you know, seen somebody trying to sharpen a knife like this, you mentioned it. I mean, you can't get a knife back to its original edge. These sharpeners that are built into the knife block will bring your knife back to up to 95% of its original factory sharpness. Now, again, we're not talking about you know, we're not a here today, gone tomorrow company. We started in a factory in Germany. We're still in that same factory today, back in 1731. We're the oldest cutlery brand in the world, okay? When we say lifetime warranty, it's not like you're gonna have a hard time finding us. But I'll tell you, once you use one of our Henckels knives, you'll never use another knife. And whether you're slicing tomatoes, potatoes, onions, cabbage, celery, it doesn't matter what it is that you're cutting. What I love about this Santoku knife is it's got those aerated pockets. So if you're doing something like a soft cheese, like mozzarella, you can see how it just pops right off of there. That would just stick and stay on, and you'd have to peel that off of any other knife blade, but with those air pockets, it releases easily. But you can do delicate things like cheese like this for a caprese salad, or here, it's got the durability and the muscle to cut through something like an avocado, pit and all. And I mean, when I say goes through the pit and all, here, see if I can find one with a decent sized pit in it. Look at this. I mean, we're talking right through the pit, okay? And you'll notice after cutting through that avocado, it's hitting that countertop or the cutting board. You don't have to worry about it getting dull because everybody knows when you use a knife, it starts to go dull. That's why we've designed this knife block with sharpeners inside that sharpen your Santoku knife to the perfect 11-degree sharpness, your chef's knife to the perfect 15-degree sharpness. Every knife slot is calibrated to sharpen the knife that fits inside. It's an amazing set at an amazing value today.
It is. Hey, by the way, Dana, thank you for keeping on the straight and narrow. She's like, that's Santoku, not Santoku. Dana, I'm from Minnesota, and listen, I'm an upfront girl. That's why I said last hour, potato, potato, you know, tomato, tomato. But Dana prefers Santoku. So Dana, thank you. Like I said, people always keep me on the straight and narrow. Beverly will be thinking of you on Father's Day. And thanks to all my Friday friends for joining this kitchen and the community of kindness. Remember, someone will get $25 for getting social with us on hsn.com. In the meantime, though, when I said if your knife is not your best friend in the kitchen, person, you got the wrong knife. Please remember, this is your final show. Today's special means that price is only good for today, of course. If you apply and buy, you could actually take another $40 off that purchase. I mean, it was already a great deal because John and I have sold just the knife blocks for that price. But hey, if you want to apply and buy, and on your first purchase, you can take $40 off, I would encourage you to do so. But I really would love for you to try these knives. I know for myself, listen, whether you're cooking a little or a lot, or you're just slicing up that sandwich that you got from the deli, or using the kitchen shears, opening a bottle of beer, cracking some lobster claw, whatever it might be, these will be your go-to knives. Not only is that wardrobe of knives, but it is only for this show. And not only is it your final opportunity, but in fact, speaking of sellouts, the white, Steve, is it official that the white is gone? Okay, as long as you are somewhere in the various forms of ordering, you have secured the final quantities on the white, then we have it in the black, and we have it in that beautiful, almost like a sepia or a warm red. That beautiful Nike Bloc is also in a wood design. All of, I say, a space with a place in mind, or place and space that have a purpose, because they are calibrated to sharpen to 95% of factory standards. And then I really hope you consider adding the steak knife set onto yourself, or maybe you're getting the today's special for yourself, but then you're sending the steak knives across the miles. These would make a great gift. I don't care if it's housewarming or you're just tired of ruining all your best efforts on that steak or on that roast. So if you want the steak knives, now officially the black was for the most part spoken for earlier. Thankfully they were able to secure enough to get us through this final hour with your today's special. So if you wanted $44.95 for that beautiful set of 4, all of the same qualitative elements apply with that lifetime warranty and that great 5-pay flex pay on all of our culinary. John, I'm going to defer back to you in the kitchen. And what I think is interesting about the demonstrations that you've done, sometimes it doesn't matter if it's a soft loaf of bread or if it's a hard rind on, say, a butternut squash or an acorn squash. Hard or soft, you've got precision knives that stay better than, or at sharpness than even an expert, sharper than what an expert could get them to for a lifetime, don't you?
They really are. I mean, when you can take a fillet of salmon and cut it like this, I mean, it takes a sharp knife. And then to be able to fillet the skin off of that knife without losing anything. I mean, look at that. It takes it right down to the flesh. And then you can also use this, look at this, for sashimi or sushi. It has the precision. It has the sharpness. It has that precision edge. Because of that sharpener in the knife block, it keeps it perfect each and every time you use the knife, whether you take it out of the block or put it back in for storage, it's sharpening it back to 95% of its original sharpness. So whether you're carving your turkey, ham, or lamb, or maybe you want to use the utility knife, and you mentioned earlier those utility knives, absolutely amazing. These are going to be your go-to. I love it as a boning knife or a fillet knife in the kitchen as well. When I say that, I mean, you want a sharp knife, and look at this. I mean, all you do is move it, and it cuts it. It's like the weight of the knife, Shannon, does the slicing for you. I mean, and now I don't recommend slicing a bell pepper in midair like this, but I do this to show you, you just couldn't do that with most of the kitchen knives that you have in your kitchen now. Or look at this, even right through the pit, again, of an avocado. You don't have to worry about this knife getting dull because it's going to stay razor sharp today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, because every time you replace it back into the knife block, it sharpens itself. So every single time you use this knife, it's going to stay sharp. So you'll never have to sharpen another knife. You don't have to worry about dragging out that knife sharpener, or asking your husband or hiring somebody to sharpen your kitchen knives. Every knife in this set is utilitarian in design. The chef's knife, the Santoku knife, I showed you that utility knife, which is a boning and fillet knife. That little paring knife, Grandma's favorite knife, you're going to absolutely love this one for peeling, paring, slicing, dicing. If you're going to use, I mean, I'll tell you what, this one is like a razor blade on a handle. You're going to absolutely love it. And again, every time you cut through food, here's the problem with most of your kitchen knives, it hits the countertop, your cutting board, plates, dishes. That's what's going to dull your knives. With this knife block, every time you replace that knife back into the block, it sharpens itself. So it's set up perfectly, and it keeps your knives razor sharp. Now, the shears that come in this set are absolutely amazing. Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is exactly how it works. And Shannon, you kind of touched on this earlier. The average homeowner, the average person that would sharpen a knife at home, doesn't matter what type of knife sharpener you have, can only get your knives back to about 80% of its sharpness, or 70% of its sharpness. A professional knife sharpener might be able to get it to like 80 or 85% of its original factory sharpness. This knife block is calibrated to bring your knives back to 95% or better of its original factory sharpness. So every time you use it, it's gonna feel like the very first day you brought it home. And I'll tell you, these shears, if you don't have kitchen shears, you're gonna love this. You'll use them outside too, for trimming shrubs and flowers. It's almost like these things are durable, they're reliable, they're always there in your knife block. They're great, maybe your husband brings you home a dozen roses and you wanna trim the stems on flowers to fit in a vase or a vase. And Shannon, you know the difference between a vase and a vase, right?
That's so
it's $100.
Yeah, exactly. I know, no kidding.
Actually, there is a difference. They say, and this is what I heard, a vase holds a bouquet of flowers, a vase holds a single flower.
Well,
did you know that?
Look at you throwing down there with the, with the lexicon.
And I could have that backwards.
Right, exactly. Okay, there'll be a quiz after this show, apparently. But one of the things that John is doing for you right now is actually, I've spent more than $25 for good kitchen shears. The truth is, you're going to spend more money if you buy the whole chicken. And so certainly cost saving is one thing. If you look in your grocery store, and certainly costs are going up. I've read something online that, especially with meat, for whatever reason, costs are going up exponentially. It's kind of like shipping and receiving, and the world is sort of playing catch up. So when you buy things with those quartered chickens, the quartered thighs, et cetera, you're spending more money because basically the butcher has done what John is doing with those shears. And it's easier than you might think if you have the right knife, or in that case, kitchen shears. Telling you, those kitchen shears will be a utility to a go-to item. Those alone, you could almost make the case that they pay for it just from a convenience standpoint. I'm gonna take you on a tour of the set again one more time, but I did this in the studio for a couple of reasons. Normally when you cut bread, and ask yourself this question, bread to me is kind of a real good barometer for measuring a good knife. Do you see that precision cut? And certainly I've got terrible knife skills because I have pretty severe arthritis in my hands. But if you see how nice and clean that cut is, the bread is not raggedy, it's not all jaggedy, there weren't like a whole series. Sometimes you end up with more crumbs on the cutting board than you even do with a piece of bread, just because your knife kind of hacks it. So this is it. This is your final opportunity. There is a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. If you don't love it, you send it back, no questions asked. So just as a reminder for you, the white we just sold out of. When John and I debuted the Henckels knives here at HSN, Google the world, you will see Zwilling Henckels. Those are the ones they keep under glass and key, lock and key, when you go to the big stores, and they can fetch high price because they're one of the oldest brands and certainly one of the most respected brands in the world. But when John and I debuted Zwilling Henckels on a kitchen show I used to do on Mondays, we would sell the Santoku. See, now I'm messing myself up. Dana, I think I'm doing okay that time. The Santoku. See, now I messed up the last part. See, it's like aluminum. When you're trying to say aluminum correctly, that's when you can't, right? It's like, the pressure's on. Regardless, we used to sell that for $80, $79 and change, basically $80. Chef's knife, if you search the world, generally speaking, because I know I've sold them on the air with John for about $130. 2 utility knives, I love that straight edge blade. I was just showing you with that serrated, you'll get precision cuts every time. Grandma's favorite knife with that paring knife, and then of course the kitchen shears. And once more, lifetime warranty, whether you're getting our today's special or the steak knives. Now the steak knives, the red is almost gone. We just sold out of the white in today's special knife set. Red has more of a nice warm, almost like a burnt sienna, like a sangria, like a really nice warm quality. Black, you can't go wrong. And that is a genuine, calibrated, self-sharpening block that is included. And when John and I first debuted Zwilling Henckels on the air here at HSN, we would sell just the butcher's blocks. I'm trying to remember if they were $89 or $99. One of the two. You get the whole point. It's kind of like buy the butcher's block and then get all of the knives for no additional cost. And the big thing that you need to realize is not only is it safer, it's smarter, it's more versatile. I don't care whether you cook a little or a lot, and it's such a genuine pleasure to have all my friends here in the Shenanigans kitchen. Yes, Miss Beverly. And remember again, it is the knife set, it's the last set of knives that you're going to ever need or use. And not only is it great whether you're cooking, baking, you think of all the hard work that you do in your kitchen, don't let it go for naught. I'm the first one to tell you that I'll cook a great piece of steak. You know, I love my Curtis Stone steak and salmon. And then if you cut it with a dull knife, you can see all of that beautiful char or those juices just go out on the cutting board and not on your palate. So try it for yourself. This is our today's special for the year, and it's a better price, colors for the first time. It is also your last opportunity. So I really want to encourage you to get it. It makes the best gift. And John, that's just it. When we have done other Zwilling Henckels today's specials, first of all, they didn't have the fun colors. And secondly, they were more money. In the world of quality knives, that's the other thing that I have to keep going back to. This is not the knife that you see in the grocery store aisle or even some of your nicer discount or variety stores that we go in. To get knives of this caliber, generally it is a la carte pricing. I mean, normally you're buying them separately and then buying the butcher's block as well. Isn't that true in the world of knives?
To get these in a set like this is an absolute amazing value, and you don't see it all the time. I'll tell you, this set is designed perfectly for, again, you'll use every single knife in this block set. It's not like you have that one knife that's going to be your favorite, which you probably will, but you're going to use every single knife in this set because they are the most popular knives on the market. They're the ones that everybody loves using, whether you're using it to open up your watermelons or even just for slicing. And again, I'll just hold this. You just saw me do watermelon and cantaloupe or honeydew. Look at this. It's like the weight of the knife does the slicing for you. All you do is move it and it cuts it. I mean, they stay razor sharp. But I got to tell you, you're going to use these knives every single day. When you put them away, they sharpen themselves. When you take it back out, it's going to sharpen itself. And you can do things with a sharp knife that you can't do with other knives in your kitchen. Like this head of cabbage, look at that. It's so dense, it's almost like a bowling ball, okay? I mean, talk about dense, but look at this. I mean, for making cabbage coleslaw, you can go as thick or as thin as you like. If you like fried cabbage, go thicker. If you like really fine coleslaw, all you do is move the knife, it cuts it. But the best part is, every time it goes down and hits that cutting board, any other knife, it's going to dull, okay? Because of the quality of this stainless steel, because of the German design, because of the quality craftsmanship, it comes with that lifetime warranty. But the best part about it is that knife block, because when you place that back in that knife block after you finished, it sharpens itself. When you take it back out, it self-sharpens. So you'll never have to sharpen your kitchen knives again. You'll always have that razor sharp blade ready and willing when you're ready.
Well, you will indeed. Diane, I think it was Diane who was asking about the kitchen shears separately. Diane, sorry, at this point, no. But coming in July, we're going to be doing Crazy for Christmas in the house and in the kitchen, rotating on Friday nights starting at 7 o'clock. So I've actually got some requests for my anniversary show in August. I'll request that we get some shears. That would be nice to have on the air separately. I can tell you, I know when I have purchased kitchen shears of this caliber elsewhere. They've been around $25, and I was happy with that price. These are lifetime kitchen shears, lifetime, you know, Santoku, lifetime chef's knife, and 2 utility knives, and paring knife, and the butcher's block that is actually precision calibrated to sharpen at factory standards, even sharper than what you would get if you were sending it to a professional. So for anyone out there watching this show, I know you're doing something in the kitchen, whether it's cutting up takeout or just slicing a sandwich or a loaf of bread. You'll use these. And I get excited about the gadgets and the gizmos just like you do, but this is going to be your go-to. There is a reason why professional chefs get very proprietary about their knives. And John, it's true, you know, in fact, I was just watching Top Chef last night, and when all the chefs walk into the kitchen, you see them with these little rollout cases. Chefs are very particular and possessive about their knives. I have a girlfriend who has her own hair salon, and same thing. You know, when your knives or your shears are your trade, you have to rely on the best. And these are in that same wheelhouse of elevating that quality without the price, aren't they?
That's right. You know, and it doesn't matter which knife that you pull out of that knife block. That boning and fillet knife, you're going to love. The Santoku knife, the chef's knife. Every knife, I mean, every single knife in this knife block set that you're getting today is worth, like you said, the price of admission. I mean, it's worth it just for this one knife. And if you price our knives in the stores, like you mentioned, Shannon, you'll see. Like you said, in fact, the quality, it goes back to here, okay? This is how our company started over almost 300 years ago. If you Google the origin of the chef's knife, okay, it will reference the Henkel Knife Company in Germany, all right? The reason, I mean, we've been around forever. We've been making knives. The Santoku knives, okay, Santoku, you called it, or it's called the Santoku. It's an actual Japanese design. It's a newer knife to the cutlery world, designed back in the 1990s, I believe, the early 1990s. That knife is absolutely amazing for doing just about anything you want to do in the kitchen. They're razor sharp. I love this knife for deboning things, but I also love it for chopping, for doing your parsley or your cilantro, or even just cutting up a pineapple like this. The precision that you get, that sharpness, the edge, and the best part about it is because of our experience with cutlery, every single knife has a different sharpness, okay? Your chef's knife is sharpened to 15 degrees. The slot in the chef's, where it says chef's knife, is a 15-degree angle. So you're gonna get that factory sharpness. The Santoku knife has a little bit thinner of a blade, and because of those aerated pockets on the side of the blade for releasing food, it sharpens at 11 degrees. So you're going to get an 11-degree sharpness when you slide that back in the knife block. When you take it back out, it's sharpened to that factory precision edge. Your utility knife, sharpened perfectly to the degree that is perfectly sharpened up to 95% of its original factory sharpness. So every time you pull that knife out and move it, it's going to cut what you want it to cut. It's like the weight of the knife does the slicing for you. I mean, if you have dexterity issues, maybe you're not the best chef in the world. You don't have to have great knife skills to appreciate the quality of Zwilling J.A. Henckels. When you feel the knife in your hand, or if you're gonna give it as a gift, maybe you are familiar with them, okay? And you wanna really impress somebody with a housewarming gift or a wedding gift. Put them away, they don't go bad on the shelf. At this price, I mean, it's an amazing value to get this many Zwilling J.A. Henckels knives with that knife block. The emblem is right there on that beautiful ashwood block. It looks great in any kitchen, whether it's the black or the red that you pick up today, because I know we just sold out of the white ones. You can get them today and put them away as gifts. A lot of people are getting more than one set. And check out the steak knives too. Those steak knives are amazing, and they match the colors of our knife block sets.
Well, and not for long, because the red on the steak knives are almost gone. I mean, really and truly, do yourselves a favor, whether you cook steak or chicken breast, whatever it might be. Don't let all that hard work go for naught. Get those steak knives, but try this today's special. Listen, I buy a lot of things in the kitchen, but this is that purchase of no regrets. It's the one they're gonna say, yeah, that's the one that you get a lot of bang for your buck here. John, always good to have you in the kitchen. Awesome job. Congratulations on a great today's special.
Shannon, thanks for having us, and pleasure, and happy slicing, everybody. You're going to enjoy your knives.
Absolutely, John. Always great to have you here. So if you want the steak knives, now remember, those also have that lifetime warranty and the Henkel name that we've been raving about.